Oh my God, Walmart's shutting down stores from California to Texas to Florida. It's Operation Jade Helm. Military's going to take over some of the empty Walmarts. They're going to process the undesirables. No. That's not what's happening. Not a Jade Helm operation. It's nonsense. That's not what is happening. Throw that garbage down the toilet. When I hear a bunch of stores are closing on a massive retail chain store, what does history tell me of other chain stores closing? Sometimes happens when they don't want the whole world knowing it's sucking for us and we need to close some stores because they're sucking. We don't tell anybody. We start closing a few. We make up some story. And then we all see the writing on the wall, and okay, they're closing a bunch of stores. Look no further than Radio Shack. So let's easily go to much as this hurts and makes me feel like a ghost is trying to get inside my body. As much, I'm going to read this from CNBC, mainstream media. However, this was posted back in January, end of January. So we're going to cover a little bit of this. Time to close Walmart stores, ? Analysts think so. Cold weather and a reduction in food stamp benefits. Keyword. Cold weather. No. Not cold weather. No. Get that crap out of here. Second part. Cold weather and a reduction in food stamp benefits aren't the only reasons why behind Walmart's lowered fourth quarter forecast. The big box discounter is indeed in need of a bricks and mortar makeover, analysts said. To resonate with today's shopper, Walmart needs to move its stores closer to major population centers. Some of these are. The one right here in Brandon where I live, very close to me, was one of the ones closing down. Yet there's one 3.5, 4 miles away, another super center, that they're not closing down. Well, these are fairly close in proximity, you could say, if they're 4 miles apart, right? So they need to move its stores closer to major population centers, shrink the square footage of its super stores, and these are what we're talking about, and shutter about 100 underperforming U.S. locations, they suggest. Operation Jade Helm. Do you remember when I had to do a video to shut up that nonsense about the mass arrests of bankers that was going around? Mass arrests! Insider reveals a mass arrest of bankers coming! I had to shut that garbage up. And I had people flaming me in my video. People I've never heard of in my life. Not subscribers, don't recognize any of the names. Attacking me about my nonsense of thinking that was nonsense and I'm this and that and I don't have any faith. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And months went by, and then many months went by. And now it's been a few years. A couple years, 2 or 3 years anyways. And I went back to post on those people who commented negatively towards me. Hey, how'd those bankers mass arrests go for you? How'd that work out for you? No comment. That message has been deleted. How about you? Oh, that message has been deleted. That message has been deleted. They didn't even have the balls to leave their message because they knew they were wrong. Didn't have the balls to say, I know I kind of called you out on that. I thought you weren't, like on our side on this whole thing. Maybe that's what riled me up, but you were right, man. I appreciate you doing the video to call out these other guys who were nonsense. David Wilcock, etc. What was the other guy's name? I can't think of his name. The Japanese royal white dragon family. He's always talking about them. I can't think of his name. Anyways, that's the past now. Keyword here, shrink the square footage of its superstores and shutter about 100 underperforming U.S. locations, they suggest. Read, little headline next to it, read more. A tsunami of store closings seen hitting retail. Another article from CNBC. Not related to Walmart per se, just retail in general. That's all that this is. They're shutting these stores down. They're going to give you a story. Water pipe, and this is... There ain't no water pipe problem. You don't have the same water pipe problem that might cause a sinkhole in Brandon, Florida, but also might cause a sinkhole in Texas and California, some other places, where they use the same exact pipe in the same exact location. They got the same exact dirt and things under the ground. I mean, come on. Absolute nonsense. No permits have been pulled. They checked around my whole area, the local news station. No permits have been pulled. No plumbing contractors, nothing there. Nothing has been done. If this is an issue, they would have done that. They're shutting the stores down, and they don't want to tell the whole world, yep, our numbers suck, and we're closing some stores, because that might cause panic. Oh my God, I got to sell my Walmart stock. The shares of Walmart are going to crash. Oh my God. They don't want that to happen, so they come up with this nonsense story. And soon 8 stores will turn to 9 stores, will turn to 12 stores, will turn to 15 stores, will turn to 20 stores, whatever. That's all that this is. That's it. That's all that this is. They're closing stores, plain and simple. Now, back to that first sentence. Cold weather, not cold weather, and a reduction in food stamp benefits. I'm going to refresh your memory if you've been subscribing to me for any length of time, because I've mentioned this multiple times throughout the last, God knows how long, 3 years, 2 years, I don't know. Periodically, because a story, not necessarily like this, but some story will make me think, oh yeah, let me refresh people's memory and say what I said before about this issue. There was a man, this is a personal story from somebody. Man is in Walmart, and it might have been literally this Walmart by my house. I can't remember if it was actually my Walmart. It's been so long. I think it might have been. I don't remember. And there is a Mexican man in front of this particular gentleman who's got a basket full of groceries. And I don't know if he saw the receipt or saw something that he was able to figure out that was a food stamp card, or he paid with food stamp money. And he said he watched the guy pull his wallet out and noticed a nice stash of cash in his wallet, or a nice stack of cash in his wallet. Figuring he's going to pull the cash out. No, he opted for this card. And again, I'm not sure how he determined the card itself, if it said something on it, or the receipt that printed from Walmart. I don't remember. But nonetheless, he determined immediately that's an EBT card. That's a food stamp card. So now he's next in line, and he's thinking to himself, that guy had a bunch of cash on him, and he was able to use his food stamp card. Well, he probably has, a side business, whether it's lawn care. A lot of Mexicans that I notice in Florida, at least, do a lot of lawn care, landscaping, that kind of stuff. They get paid under the table, so they have cash. They immediately, of course, can apply and successfully get lots of different benefits, whether it's health care, food stamps, because they're on the books as not working, yet they're working under the table. This is a fact in my area, period. That's probably a fact in a lot of areas, but I'm not going to say that I know that for sure, but I can tell you for sure it's here. So he asked the clerk, when it was his turn to check out after the guy left with his massive stack of groceries, how many people, can you answer this? How many people that come through this line would you say are doing that? They've got food stamps. They're using the food stamp card. And I believe the answer, if I recall, and I'm pretty sure, the answer that the clerk said was about half. About half of the people coming into that Walmart are using some type of government assistance, food stamp, EBT, etc. That, my friends, is the simple answer. There's no Operation Jade Helm, but that's as ridiculous as the whole David Wilcox, Benjamin That was a guy's name. Benjamin something. The other guy I was talking about. The White Knight Dragon family of Japan. Benjamin Fulford. Ben Fulford. I like the guy. I like David Wilcock. Or is it Wilcox? Whatever. But don't feed the population crap as if it's the truth and it's happening and then it doesn't happen. Because you look like crap. And then no one's going to... Again, the boy who cried wolf. It's only happened 2 or 3 times and you're done. So, that's all this is. I'm telling you now. You heard it right here from JSNIP 4. April 16th, 2015. At 7:53 p.m. in the evening. That's all this is. So if roughly half in this particular store that this private story came from, let me just say this. If it was even a third, 1 out of 3, is pretty shocking that many people are on food stamps. If it literally is half the population of going into Walmart, I mean half the population in the United States, half the population of people who go into Walmart, customers, that's still disturbing because almost everybody shops at Walmart. You can go there and there are lines constantly. Unless you happen to maybe live out in the country or something where it's not as bad, I don't know. But again, even this one that I'm talking about right by my house, it's not like, oh, there's not a lot of people here. There's always people there. But if government food stamps have cut way down, then you forcefully have cut down the people spending money at Walmart. Not because they don't want to go there and continue buying stuff and saying, hey, the government's giving me some money, I can just do this. They're going to want to do it. They're going to want to go there, but they can't. If you don't have money, you can't do it, can you? Unless you want to go in and rob the place. Not a good answer. So this is a problem with consumer spending. And whether you want to say it is or isn't fully or partially blaming on the food stamps, the bottom line is it is consumer spending. Because again, read more. A tsunami of store closings hitting retail. Now this was posted, which again, this was a year. This article was a year before the other one. Get ready for the next era in retail, one that will be characterized by far fewer shops and smaller stores. On Tuesday, Sears, another one of the Radio Shack examples I could give you, said that it will shutter its flagship store in downtown Chicago in April. It's the latest of about 300 store closures in the U.S. that Sears has made since 2010. Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought the recession officially ended around April of 2009. Sears, you can't be closing stores. Walmart, you can't be closing stores. Radio Shack, you can't be closing stores. And Tiger Direct Online, which is all that's left now, I think, you guys can't be closing stores, which used to be CompUSA, which did close their stores. Further signs of cuts in the industry came Wednesday when Target said that they will eliminate 475 jobs worldwide, including some at its Minnesota headquarters, and not fill 700 empty positions. Experts said these headlines are only the tip of the iceberg for the industry, which is set to undergo a multi-year period of shuttering stores and trimming square footage. You don't say. You don't say. That was from last year. Add in the fact that most people, you can go to Amazon, right? You have an Amazon Prime account. Free shipping. Anything that is Prime, you get for free shipping. You can order stuff and have that Prime shipped to you in 2 days with that Prime account. I could place an order today, and in Saturday, because tonight's Thursday, of course, depending on time zone, whatever. But in 2 days, you can have that. My dad needs a fuel pump in his car. Me, being the former mechanic back in the day in the mid to late 90s, learning a lot in that industry. No, I don't want to do it again. Thank you. Learned a lot of these things. So naturally, I'm the guy that helps Papa out. Now, I replaced that fuel pump a couple years ago. And rather than buy the whole unit, we decided, well, it's a lot cheaper if you can just get the pump and then put the pump inside the unit, take the stuff apart, put it back together. It worked fine all these last couple years. Until recently. Been sputtering and problems, and definitely looks like it's definitely, a fuel pump issue. So he's hitting the back of his seat, which is where the fuel pump's located in his car, with a hammer, and then it would come back. So I said, that sounds like a bad spot in the motor. It's like, that's typical. It sounds like, needs another motor. So I'll order another pump for, $40 or whatever. We'll put it on. I get the pump. I go out there, take it off, take the wire off the thing, the harness. And as I'm pulling it out, this little metal clip piece pulls off with it, with the harness. Hold on. God bless that mute button for your sake. Because that would have sounded like a bomb just went off in your ear. So I noticed it's slightly melted where this thing goes in, and it pulled right out. And the other end of that, which connects to the wire going to the fuel pump, is completely melted and gone. Okay. Doesn't need a fuel pump. Needs the whole damn housing, which of course comes with the fuel pump nowadays anyways. So I ordered this thing on Amazon Prime. Got it. It must have been under the Riverview warehouse because I got that thing like the next day. But I can't use it. So send it back. I was even able to ship it back with them giving me a UPS label, and I didn't even have to pay for the label. Now, I know that before I think they deducted or something, but it looked like it said return cost was $0. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe because it's over here in Riverview, which is 15 minutes away. Their new warehouse that they opened up. But what did I do? I bought it on Amazon. Found another one that the dealer wants $450 for, and other parts stores want $250 for. I found on Amazon, brand new, $155. Whole thing, the whole deal with the harness, everything. The plug, the whole unit, fuel pump and all. Drop it in, set it down, plug it in, put the ring back around it, done. Point being, I didn't have to leave my house to even go down a half mile to the closest parts store, or slightly another block past that to go to a different one, or go the opposite way and go a little bit more than that distance to another one. They're that close. So who doesn't want to get in their car and just go down the street? Well, number one, the price was more money. But when I went online, purchased something online, it was a lot cheaper. Case in point, I am information technology director at my company that I work for. I do have to buy parts from time to time. Computer parts, switches, routers, whatever it may be. It's time to upgrade our router. We have the one we want in mind. Hey, call Jose in the purchasing department. Get me a price with our vendors on this. Here's the part number. By the way, here's a link to Amazon. They've got it for $780. And it's Prime. No shipping, of course. No shipping cost. Regardless of that, to be honest with you, I don't care. He comes back. Yeah, they want $1,100. $780 on Amazon, which means you can go there, the public can go there, buy the same router, $780. Me, company, has a parts supplier that we have a special deal with, right? Like most companies do. We get the good pricing, right? The business partner pricing, $1,100. 7, 8, we'll call it 8, 9, 10. 11. You want $300 more dollars? It's almost like a third more. For the, okay. Tell them thanks, but no thanks. Well, Tarina, do you mind ordering this with your Amazon Prime account? And of course, she has her company card. Put it on the card. Thank you. And she got it done. Point in case again. I didn't have to leave my office. And I found the best deal. Clicking on my keyboard and using my mouse. How many other people, right? Because I'm not the smartest guy in the world to figure that one out. Everybody knows this nowadays. You can find stuff online. That's going to hurt businesses, retail businesses. Walmart being one of them. And the fact that, again, food stamp problems and that consumer spending is down. And all I can think of, if this is what we're dealing with right now, and we truly have this big collapse, whatever, at the end of this year, which does remain to be seen, but again, I would be absolutely floored and dumbfounded if nothing happens end of the year, everything's normal. They didn't pull it off. They decided to whatever. The bottom line is something has to happen with these derivatives that are going to cause the whole worldwide collapse. In some time. They can't just go away. They have to be dealt with. The United States' uncontrollable debt has to be dealt with. We're either going to print more money and pay off the whole world with worthless dollars to shut them up with what we owe them, or devalue the dollar to have the same effect. One or the other, or maybe even both. So, honestly, whether it happens at the end of this year doesn't change the fact that this has to be dealt with. And it's going to be dealt with in the near future while you and I are both alive easily. I just choose to believe it's going to be later this year because Lindsey Williams said so. You have the IMF lady giving her crazy weird speech about the 7 cycles of 7 and take away the 0 and the 7. And no business whatsoever ever talking about something like that in a live broadcast, and she did. That to me was the sign for her to tell all the club members, boys and girls, it's on this time. Oh, and when's the 7-year cycle end? This year. And that was fairly recent, right? So take that into consideration with this stuff happening. It's probably not going to be pretty. So I wanted to share with you my view on this Walmart thing. Yes, this is my opinion. Yes, I could be wrong as they come. But I may be blowing some smoke up my own self here on this one. I don't think so. I consider myself a pretty informed individual. I study a lot of things people don't want to waste their time studying, reading, etc. So I feel like I do have a little bit of edge sometimes when I talk about stuff like this, that maybe my opinion holds a little more weight than some other people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I will gladly and fully accept being wrong. And, oh, hey, there's some damn tractors and backhoes and stuff out there at the Walmart the other day. Oh, they're digging up some pipes. Oh. Ooh, maybe I'm going to have some egg on my face. So what? This is my opinion. There ain't no way they're shutting a bunch of stores down at the same damn time because of a water pipe leak at one store that somehow used, quantum physics and blinked over to some other places and, had the same issue. I mean, come on, what the hell's going on here? That's all I got for you. Take care.